boys are back together after the Leafs win another one. Mark and I talked about the post game from last night. The Oilers. Didn't you get a chance to watch?
Yes, I did. We fuck.
Yeah. Well, what were your takeaways? I don't know if you watched our post game yet, but
no, I didn't. But Austin Matthews is the GOAT. This team looks like a legit team. We don't need Mitch Marner. Trade him for Chikrin. Done. Justin Hall is legitimate. Everyone knows he's garbage, but like this man is garbage, and we have to stop thinking that decent AHL defensemen are any worse than him.
Yeah,
that's my take.
It's funny because that whole time it looked like you were reading off a script. I don't know if you.
It sounds like I am at it. Eh?
Well, you were just looking to the side. You were like Joe Bidening it.
No, but like, does it not sound like a script?
Yeah. Yeah,
like, does it not sound like I've said it before?
I do want to challenge you on the Mitch Marner thing. I don't know if that was hyperbolic. Was it?
Yeah.
Or okay. Yeah, because you want this guy on the team, right?
100% I do.
Okay.
I've always said it. You cannot find a video clip from the past that has once said I don't think Mitch Marner is a good player.
I think he's it was just because we were talking on the post game just like about how this is what you've always wanted from Austin Matthews, and what like guys like Crosby, guys like McDavid can do is you just slot in Michael Bunting, who's
I was about to say that. How cool is that? We could run 4 lines.
Yeah. You can have Wayne Simmons who's playing at like a middle, like a 6-7 guy, and you can play him on the 4th line, and that 4th line just fucks.
Imagine we picked up like a decent left winger or something like Kempe or Forsberg. You can run legitimately 4 lines.
Right. But let's take Forsberg out of the equation because there's no way that.
Okay. Adrian Kempe.
Yes. That's
like not I don't mean him specifically, but a guy like that, a guy that's like a second line decent winger. You put him and Bunting on a line or whatever, like, and then you put Mitch Marner, Tavares or Nylander Tavares, you have 4 lines.
Yeah, I think you already questionably have 4 lines.
No, I think you do.
Comes back, because
I mean like Stanley Cup. Oh fuck! I shouldn't say that.
Well, you don't know. We're going full in on the Leafs. We're winning the Stanley Cup this year. We started the podcast. We're the reason for it. But when we got Kampf, Kasha, and Mikheyev. If Mikheyev can be any shell of his former self from first year, that 3rd line is not the Yanni Gord 3rd line, but that 3rd line is close. If all of them,
it's good for us.
Yeah, and then you got a 4th line of Simmons and
it's not the 3rd line of Tampa, but nothing's going to be the 3rd line of Tampa because that was legit a cheat code, right? Because it shouldn't have actually happened, right?
Yeah.
Give us $10 million more cap, then we'll make a cheat code 3rd line.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, these are some of the things that we've talked about in the other. So I had a couple. We'll do a little bit of a preview for the Canucks game on Saturday. So Canucks are steamrolling since they fired everybody.
Looks like Bruce Boudreau's had like 45 steamrolls. Jesus Christ, that guy's a unit.
Until he gets into the playoffs or game 7s. But we're Leafs fans.
If we're facing Bruce Boudreau, he's going to beat us in the playoffs. There's no way he doesn't. Look at that guy. I'm scared of him.
But yeah, that's going to be an exciting one. Too bad we can't play Calgary because that would be an easy win. But I do have a couple questions for you guys. How often do you play Peter Mrazek going forward?
Every 3rd game, like
every 3rd game.
He needs more games.
Yeah, he's a good goalie. I don't think anyone should think that this guy, if he's playing games, he's going to be good enough.
Yeah,
right. It's like Kasha or like Mikheyev, right? If they're playing games, they're good. The problem is he doesn't play a lot of games.
So the reason
he also needs to play enough games, though.
Yeah.
It's finicky.
If he can end up getting 25 in by the end of the year after being hurt, I think that's what you can kind of expect with him. And then the rest go Campbell. So this leads into the next question, which is between these 3 things, rank them from most likely to least likely. All right.
Leafs winning the cup first.
Jack Campbell winning the Vezina. Austin Matthews winning the Rocket. Keefe winning the Jack Adams. Most likely to least likely.
Keefe's never winning the Jack Adams because it's a subjective award.
Well, I mean, so is but
Richard first because it's Matthews.
Yeah.
Campbell second because save percentage and goals against is what they usually use for those. I know they have advanced metrics, but it does seem like goals against, save percentage, and wins is still the kind of like top tier thing. Maybe eventually it won't be, but it still seems to be. And so it's subjective, but not, right?
Yeah.
Like the Selke's subjective, but not, because it doesn't go to the best defensive player who's also offensive. It goes to the best offensive player who's also defensive, right? Which is not really how it's supposed to be. But so Jack Campbell second, and then Keefe third, because it's the Leafs.
Right. There was a Mark. What are you going with?
I'd probably go Matthews, Keefe, Jack.
Oh,
how funny is it? Is they wouldn't give Keefe the fucking award because they'd be like, "Well, look at the team; it's so good," and then I could quote tweet 1,000 people saying we're shit.
Yeah.
Right.
And like I'm gonna go with
I don't even know
Tins, just because I saw a recent thing which was like it was already being voted on like the top coach of the year, and he wasn't even in the top 5, and they're leading the league. So, and I think Jack Campbell was like 4th or 5th, and it's like this is by league execs or something, like an early.
When do they do the voting? Because I think it's after the first round, is it not? If Keefe gets out of that first round, I wonder if that changes.
Yeah, I think you are right, a little bit right though, because it's the Leafs.
I shouldn't be. I shouldn't, but no, I think I'm right about that. If he gets out of the first round, then they'll be like, oh, because for some reason, this stupid fucking Mickey Mouse league, there's a huge difference between regular season team and playoff team.
Yeah,
which there shouldn't be that enough of a discretion that you can say it.
Yeah.
Right. There shouldn't be such a difference that you can say it and everyone's like, oh yeah, some teams just come first place in the regular season and then lose to a fucking terrible team in 7 games. That just happens because we're in a league that does that.
Yeah.
Right. Go see that in the NBA. Golden State lose against the 8th seed. Nope. I mean, that's not saying something about the Leafs. That's saying something about the NHL and the Leafs because, well, we fucking suck, but whatever.
So does that mean that Bettman wins in creating a league with a lot of parity?
It's so fucking annoying.
Because
it'd be like, dude, he'd have a basketball league and start cutting off guys' fucking legs.
Yeah, he'd be like, you can't join a super team.
Over 6'10".
Hey, LeBron,
over 6'10", you can't jump.
LeBron, you're getting put on the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to go. No, you're going to go to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and you're not allowed to sign anyone else.
Yeah, so I'm sending you to China.
Yeah.
All right, quiz for you guys.
All right.
Do you know the last 3 winners of the Jack Adams Award? Jack Adams Award.
Trotz is in there.
Mm-hmm.
The Tampa coach is.
I'm just gonna go John Cooper. I'm gonna go John Cooper.
Yeah, Cooper, Trotz. I want to say it might be one of them twice.
It could, or I might be tempted to go like Mike Sullivan or Bednar.
So last year was Rob Brindamore.
It was Carolina.
And then it was the Boston Bruins, Bruce Cassidy.
Ew.
And then Barry Trotz.
So John
the year before that was the Vegas.
It's a playoff. It's a fucking playoff award. It's I take that. Yeah, no, sorry. I hold true. Keefe third.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
John Cooper's won 2 straight Stanley Cups, and he hasn't won 1 Jack Adams. So that goes to your argument, Dan, of like, oh, your team's just good, so you actually didn't do anything.
See, but then that's both annoying because the Lightning have a good team and won, and that's not good enough to be a good coach. The Leafs have a good team, didn't win. That's not good enough. Like the argument is, but you can't win in the playoffs. But then John Cooper wins, and he goes, well, you were supposed to.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
in a league that has extreme amounts of parity.
Yeah, and Carolina like gets out before even making to the conference finals again, and he wins. Interesting. So yeah, a completely subjective award, but probably based on like who you know. And Keefe is not a hockey guy. He just isn't. He's never been a hockey guy. So Rod Brindamore was loved by everyone in the league. Still is loved by everyone in the league. Smaller
called
market.
Rod the Bod. Imagine being fucking something the Bod, buddy. I'd be wrapping my hose around my fucking leg like a goddamn fire hose.
Maybe he does. Maybe that's why he won. Okay, so I got one more little. This is just turning into a quick quiz podcast. But I want you both, starting with Mark, to rank based on your extremely limited seeing of each of these 3 players, best to worst. for based on what we've seen, Joey Anderson, Cini, and Steves.
Wow. Would it be Steeny, Steves, Anderson?
Yeah. All right. What are you going with then?
I want to put Anderson last because I actually think he's good, or he's pretty good. And has anyone seen anything but mediocrity from him?
No, but I think that's all you can expect at this point.
But like, I mean, like, do something. Like Pierre Engvall scores sometimes, right? You go, oh fuck that, right? Like he still does that. I mean, maybe to our own fault, because every so often he does that. I'm like, oh fuck, keep him in the lineup. And he gets me with that for like 2 weeks. And then I go, hey boys, we need to make a podcast. And I go, all right, this one's about Engvall. And then he scores that night. So fucking guy knows what he's doing, eh? That's why he's a professional athlete, and I'm doing a podcast on my floor.
Okay, so who you got? You got Anderson number 3 because you think he has higher potential.
Steve, Cini, Anderson, but I think it's probably actually Steve's, Anderson, Cini. But because I'm an
Steve's actually has a point in the 3 games he played, while Joey Anderson and
Cini... I thought Cini scored last night. I thought from that shot from the point that he was the one that tipped in the Brody shot. I was like, oh no way, that's sick. First game, first goal. But I see what you mean with Anderson, because like, and especially because we gave something up for him. The other 2 guys we just had in the system, like we gave Janssen up for Anderson's. Yeah. And you heard right from when we got him, it was like, this guy was the captain of the U.S. World Juniors team, like great leadership qualities. Like he's been in the same system that Austin Matthews has. They know each other. So it was like, oh, I really want this guy to work. And he was kind of like pegged as like a third line grinder. Right? Yeah. And what I have seen from him is like, I'm going to actually put him number 1 for the same reason that you put him number 3, is because I think that he played 3 games. Like if you give this guy, if you need to in the playoffs between these 3, who are you bringing up? And I think the answer is Joey Anderson. That's just why is number 1.
I just want to remind you that potential is French for currently sucks.
Does he currently suck though?
I don't know. Having good potential to me just sounds like an
unless
excuse.
You're a kid.
Like, right, potential is French for
if
currently
you're in
sucks.
You're like 25 in the NHL and you have potential still, it's usually not pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I know Liljegren is not 25, but like he's always been dubbed as a guy with potential, and I think if you slot him in last year consistently, he has a halfway decent like showing, and doesn't mean he sucks. Robertson is another one of those guys. They just don't fit into a certain niche right now.
All he can fit into is a fucking cast.
Don't talk bad about my boy. Oh man, that's blasphemy.
You can't even spell blasphemy.
BLASPHEMY. Nailed it.
Ding, 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 ding.
Nailed it.
I'd like to start the rumor here. Nick Robertson, Jake Muzzin, and a first for Jacob Chikrin. Thank you very much.
That sounds like a terrible trade for us. Don't you? You don't think so?
I think Muzzin is less of an asset than we think.
He just dropped off this year.
Well, I just think with our cap shit that like 5.8.
What does Chikrin make?
Isn't it just about the same? Like he doesn't make shit, doesn't he? Right? Like it's like, I think it's about that. I think they're good at signing deals because they go, hey, we have $8, and he's like, okay, I guess I'll take $8.
Right. So here's the other thing with that is like, I know we're really getting in the weeds now, but like this is why a guy like Mark Giordano makes a little bit more sense to me.
I'll give it to you, man.
Boy.
No, Chikrin 4.6 and then 3 more years.
That's good. Good control on him. The issue with that is like, why would Arizona want Jake Muzzin on a rebuilding team for a contract that's another 3 or 4 years?
That's why you're adding the Robertson in first. That's the whole point.
I don't know if I would. I just see Sandin and Liljegren and them having to be re-signed, and I'm like,
exactly. Right? You're agreeing with me by saying that.
Yeah, I just I don't know, man. Just because
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying this. Whenever we bring up trades or whatever, like we talk about, Adrian Kempe. We're talking about like an umbrellaed thing, right? We're saying, would you trade a $5 million younger defenseman for some assets on top of Jake Muzzin and look at him not as the asset he necessarily might have been?
Right. So the way you're kind of framing is that Muzzin would be a bit of a cap dump.
Well, yeah, but he's automatically a dump if $5 million is coming back, because objectively it must be, if we're doing that, it's an expression of us trying to upgrade. Right.
And you think that Chychrun is an upgrade on Muzzin right now?
Yeah. Do you not think that?
I haven't watched enough of Chychrun, so I honestly couldn't tell you. I haven't looked at his advanced stats. I've watched one Arizona game in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And that was the first one that Keefe was coaching for. I think that was the last time I played them.
I watched the game where he had a hat trick and won it in overtime with his third goal. And now I just
well, we wouldn't be able to.
It's the one fucking game I watched. If the only game you watched is fucking Austin Matthews scoring 4 goals and us losing. Actually, no, that's probably the best definition of the Leafs.
Yeah,
you probably
that's
only
the
need
best
to watch that
definition
game
of the Leafs.
You have to watch that.
And
it's probably going to be like an $8 million guy in like 2 years.
He's got 3 more years.
Oh,
who cares?
Okay, yeah, then it's good enough. Yeah, fuck, now it's kind of a deal.
Yeah,
buddy, I don't give a fuck about 3 years from now. Fucking
win now.
Might not even be alive.
Yeah. All right, well, that's something that we can definitely, because I just looked him up and it's the first thing that came up was why Leafs should be interested in Jacob Chychrun.
Wow.
That's actually my article.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I'm kidding, everyone. That wasn't written by me, but it is funny, eh?
But okay. So you guys aren't in on the Mark Giordano trade then?
No, I love it. I just there's no fucking way. No, remember, like COVID affects like the 40 to 50 range a little bit higher.
Yeah, true.
My screen just froze.
I like it. That should be the thumbnail.
That's a good thumbnail, buddy. You look so happy.
Yeah, you do look happy.
What's on here?
You look like a dark-haired Santa Claus.
How the fuck did you pull off being happy while talking about the Leafs?
We're talking about players that aren't on the Leafs. That's
true. Yeah.
Talking about Arizona and Seattle, and you're getting giddy.
All right. Well, Din has a prior call, so we're gonna wrap this guy up. We are once again, we're gonna try and do as many pregame shows as we can do, as many postgame shows as we can do.
I'm home as of Friday night, so we're
nice.
Good.
Oh, so we're good. All right. Yeah. I think Mark has finally left us, so we'll end it here, but we'll catch you guys in the preview for the Canucks game.
Yeah.
We'll aim to get it up on Friday. So
yeah, I'll be good afternoon.
Okay, sounds good.